44. Bo. From my bed in the ICU, with the monitors clicking and pumping around me, I can feel them approaching. I have been x-rayed and scanned and connected to the machines with multiple wires, and they help me to breathe. I have a needle in my hand that supplies my body with a nutrient drip that goes directly into my bloodstream and warms up my physical system. The cracks in my vertebrae are nourished and begin to heal. For the internal injuries, I receive antibiotics with the drip. My neck is torn, red on the inside and blue on the outside, and my brain is swollen from hitting the basement wall. My sister Esther is being stitched up on the operating table. She is cracked internally after the fateful labor. The little unborn is laid to rest. The uterus cannot be saved. Esther is bandaged and plastered and rolled into the recovery room. 2 nurses stand at her bedside and study her seriously. While she sleeps with her own nutritional drip and antibiotics, they bathe her body with a washcloth. They apply ointment to her blue-white skin and put a new, clean hospital gown on her. Her black eyelashes look so long against her pale skin. The nurses leave her there. The 7 sisters who had to wait for reinforcements arrive at the frightening activity of the hospital, the life, the movement, the lights, the shops, the corridors, the crowd. While Esther and I are patched up, they hide behind hair curtains, press themselves close together, trembling. The paramedic carries Miriam. The hospital's managers and doctors had spoken in walkie-talkies, so a few prepared nurses gently put firmly embrace them and lead the group towards the elevators, making sure they get to the hospital's 7th floor, which is a ward that provides extra space for patients when the hospital is overcrowded. It's empty when we emerge from the basement, and a group of janitors and nurses have prepared it for the Wilson sisters. The ward is quiet and bright, and they are close to the clouds, which they can see from the row of windows. They stand rigidly and stare after being shown out of the elevator. The nurses come to lead them to their beds, but it is difficult for them to let go of each other. Where are Bo and Esther? They are here. We're taking care of them. Can they come here? Yes, but let us help you first. 45. Bo. Horror in the house next door. 9 daughters locked in the basement. Couple suspected of deprivation of liberty and crimes against minors. 9 sisters aged 22 to 10 were discovered on the morning of March 27th outside a house on Norrslottsvägen just outside Hässleholm. A neighbor described the sight of the 9 sisters as haunting. He and everyone in the area had been told that the family children had moved to relatives in the UK, the father's country of origin. It had been nearly 6 years since anyone had seen any of the daughters. An ambulance was called and 2 of the daughters were rushed to hospital. 11-year-old Lydia is still unconscious after a brutal beating that the girls say their father committed. The police examined the house after the girls were taken to safety and found a soundproof basement where the girls had been living for the past 6 years. The parents were tied up there, and the investigation shows that the girls acted together in self-defense to save the lives of the injured sisters. There are also 2 small children born to the oldest sister during the years they were locked in the basement. The sisters are currently in a severely malnourished state with medical issues from the lack of sunlight and are all being treated in hospital. The police consider their treatment and the condition of the basement to be tant- tantamount to torture. We are so happy they are alive, says the neighbor who found the girls outside the house. The parents of the nine sisters have now been taken into custody in Malmö and are awaiting trial. It is on the front page of every newspaper. No one knew we existed. Now everyone knows who we are, except us. Esther wakes up the next morning, having slept soundly after the operation and anesthesia. She does not know where she is. She does not know if she is dreaming. Then she remembers the escape. There are so many thoughts and impressions running through her head that she shuts down and just lies there watching. There's movement in the nurse's station. Now two nurses arrive. Look who's awake, the nurses say. Where are the others? Esther wants to ask. You are safe and sound. The operation went well. Only then does Esther realize that her stomach is tightening, and when she dares to move a little, arrows of pain shoot through her stomach and back. Let's take her upstairs, says one nurse to the other. Where are we going? Asks just Esther as they start rolling her bed and the drip stand past the hospital beds. She does not understand what is happening. We are going to the top floor where you girls will be isolated for a while to reduce the risk of infection. Esther holds her breath as the elevator goes up. When the elevator doors open, she sees the dark heads of the sisters in white hospital beds, and she smiles widely. She is wheeled down the hall, and Miriam, Ada, Naomi, and the others look up to meet her gaze. The nurses park her bed at the end of the row of beds by the large windows that look out to the sky and rooftops. We are at the hospital in Helsingborg, a beautiful growing city by the sea, and the spring sun makes the waves sparkle and the facades of the houses shine. The nurses make satisfied, reassuring sounds. They smile and then leave the sisters alone for a little while. What happened? Esther whispers. We got out, says Lisa. Where's Bo? All have had IVs during the night. For breakfast, they were served orange juice and ham sandwich and eggs. They pushed the eggs away. Now they are a bit tired. Esther looks around at the sisters. Each one looks different. Daylight falls on them all. It hurts, I say to my swollen brain, and soar higher into the fog and foam. Beyond the hills I hear angels singing. Then I am with Big Tree, gratefully resting on a branch against its rough trunk. I'm back now. Yellow bush rustles happily. Then the squiggly basement angels come and join me in the tree. Are you done now? Asks one of them. I don't know. I don't want to be anything else or travel anywhere else. They are my greatest love. Yes, the stars twinkle, the wind whispers in the grass, the heavy branches of Big Tree rustle, yellow bush, which has just sprouted new yellow shoots, twinkles. 3 days pass on the 7th floor, where the cries of seagulls can be heard through the hospital windows. They nest on the hospital roof. My sisters look at the deep, clear blue color of the sky. Then the wind picks up and clouds form and pass by. What is that? What are they doing there? Judith asks in horror. It's clouds, replies Miriam, who is starting to remember a bit more. The little ones sit vigilantly and study the nurses as they talk to Ada, Lisa, and Eva. Vigilance is dropped and replaced by contentment, and the nurses are kind, want to joke around with Judith, add blankets to the bed, bring the food trays, and the food: butter and cheese on the sandwiches, marmalade, strawberry yogurt, fried potatoes, sausages, fruit salad with ice cream for dessert. Never mind that the nurses also want to stick them with a needle and examine them with the stethoscope. Doctors also come and squeeze their arms, check their reflexes, shine a light in their eyes, and squeeze their heads. Everyone who comes to the seventh floor brings stuffed animals, flowers, and treats for the Wilson sisters. They sit on an empty bed and grow in piles. The sisters are afraid to accept the gifts right now, for it reminds them of the broken flea market items and yesterday's baked goods that were thrown into the basement. The sisters are busy digesting all the new impressions and hardly leave their beds during these days. They sit and stare at the sky and rooftops, turn their eyes to Eva and Lisa, and then look out the windows again as their bodies slowly start to heal and the empty teapots inside are slowly replenished. Where is Bo? How is she? When will she be here? Eva asks, and the nurses reply that I'm still in intensive care. Unfortunately, the sisters can't go there because their immune systems are so compromised, but the doctors are taking good care of me. My children, Michael and Maria, where are they? Eva then asks. And after making a few calls, the nurse tells her that Michael and Mim are in good condition and safe. They have been taken to a kind foster family who is taking good care of them. We want to see them. Can you bring them here? Asks Eva. I'm sure you'll see them soon, says the nurse. When evening has fallen and the sky outside the window has become dark, Ada gets up and tiptoes to Esther and crawls down next to her under the blanket. We're out of the basement, Ada whispers. Yes, Esther replies. We're out. Yes. Over in her bed, Judith is thinking about her pile and her sofa and her microcosm of broken toys and the excursions in the sister circle. It's hard to reconcile the fear, the need, and the hunger, and this big, strange world she has now found herself in on the seventh floor. I have been waiting patiently for the swelling in my brain to subside. Then the angels say, Are you ready? Yes. Next I hear a voice calling me. Lydia, the voice says. Lydia. Call me Bo, I say, though no sound comes out of my throat. Instead, my eyes react with pain as the light from the intensive care unit hits them for the first time. She's waking up. The next time I experience something, I see a man's face. A woman is standing next to him. They are smiling and talking in calm voices. I blink and look around for the sisters. There you are, little one. We're so glad you're feeling better. Are you in pain anywhere? I hear the rhythmic beeping of the heart monitor, see the flashing curves on the screen. The doctor and the nurse speak to each other in a low voice. Then the nurse leans close to me and says, All your sisters are well and waiting for you. I relax against the pillow. The doctor leans closer. He says, Lydia, We're going to remove the ventilator tube so you can breathe on your own and talk to us. You will soon feel better. Two nurses hold me up, and the doctor quickly pulls the tube out of my windpipe. The doctor examines my neck inside and out. Can you say something? He asks kindly. No. But I get up to the seventh floor. I see the sisters. Ada comes and sits by my side and pulls my hand to her heart. Chapter 45 and 45 comments. When I realized I had DID, I needed loads of support. It was such a huge realization, and at the same time, I was wrestling with the phobia of the parts, and they in turn were wrestling with confusion over the time jump. The present, which lay 15 or 20 years in the future. In other words, everything they knew was gone. At the same time, they all share a common goal: to survive. While Bo lies in a coma with brain damage, Alva struggles with trauma that makes her want to die. Every day for several months, I felt a strong urge to jump in front of a train. So overwhelming was this period when my sub-personalities broke free from the silence, the walls, and the memory loss to begin healing their traumas.